And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger and roll, Atlantic.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SPD off. Bring in SPD off. Off. It's orange!
Orange 25! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If there's methane, it'd be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep red. We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to another NSF live stream. We are NASASpaceflight.com and you are looking at a Falcon 9 rocket at Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. This rocket is getting ready to launch 28 Starlink V2 mini satellites into low Earth orbit, and I am Jack Beyer, your host for this morning's launch, this evening's launch, wherever you are around the world. For us, it's the morning. I don't even know what time it is anymore. Time's a flat circle. But it doesn't matter, because we have our ever-competent cohort of co-hosts. Starting off with Alex. Alex, how are you doing this fine, launchy morning?
Man, it's been a while, right? What? It's been
Like 23 whole hours.
exactly, yeah. Well, yeah, another Falcon 9 launch, man. What am I gonna say? I'm here for that, right? And then later today, there's an Atlas as well. So yeah, bring them on.
It really is heartening. Is that a word? You know, like there's disheartening. Is heartening a word? It's heartening to see so much activity in the space sector these days. More activity is better. It makes you happy to see. More payloads to space, please, and thanks. Also, more of please and thanks. Max Evans out in the field. Max, how are you doing?
Good morning, everybody. And yes, it is one more doubleheader launch day featuring Falcon and Atlas. Actually, it's more of a doubleheader launch morning because the launches are about 4.5 hours apart from each other. So, 3.5 hours, excuse me. But yeah, skies are clear. I have great views of both launch pads, and we were hoping to get Falcon 9 off the ground first into the wild black yonder.
Excellent. I keep wanting to say, Max, you cooked this morning with your solar transit shots, but that wasn't this morning. That was yesterday morning.
I know. It feels all the same right now.
It all just runs together at a certain point. I'm not even out there shooting rockets day after day after day in the same manner. I mean, I'm shooting rockets day after day, but not launches. It's different. But seriously, if you have not seen Max's solar transit shot from this morning, it is chef's. Yesterday morning. What is time? It is chef's. It is chef's kiss, and I'm just going to mention it quickly at the top of the show. It is a print in the shop. Maybe two prints in the shop, right, Max?
Yeah, so there was the initial transit where I froze it right in front of the solar disk, and then there was one after that where it cleared, but there was all you could see all the shock waves visible from the exhaust tail from all 9 Merlins, kind of just refracting out from the sun. So
yeah,
if I had to pick a personal favorite, it's the one on the left, which is called acoustic. Acoustic energy.
Yes.
That might be a top 10 photo of mine to this point, and certainly I shot this, Jack. You'll like this. I shot this at aperture f/64.
I don't like that actually, but we can talk about it later.
Yeah, I don't either. But two times converters for the win.
It's like we could go way into the weeds on this. I will refrain for now, but I did want to mention that at the top of the stream. You are absolutely working your tail off, and you're getting the goods. So we had to point that out. Y'all, I have to also mention that Carson is operating the stream. I don't even know what's going on in our communications back channel right now. Kevin's also there. Gage is here. Daniel Brock. Yeah, lots of people in the back channel helping out on today's stream. Hooray! And you can help out on today's stream as well. If you have any questions, you can type them into chat, and you can type at NSF. That's oh god, what is N? What is N supposed to be? It's not nectar. What is the NATO phonetic alphabet for N? I always forget.
I don't remember.
Bueller?
I'm blanking.
Bueller? All right, well, you can type NSF November. Thank you, Tango Delta Norminal. For some reason, their name is super apt. But yeah, November Sierra Foxtrot. Or you can type out the whole thing, NASA
I
Space
forgot
Flight.
because we're in September, so that's why.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Alex. But yeah, ask your questions. We get some good questions on these streams. We like to be interactive, and we like to hang out, and you guys give us stuff to talk about. Really interesting topics on a frequent basis. So feel free to throw your questions in the chat. We'll answer them. All right, I think we have set the table. We have done all the housekeeping. The floor is swept. Now we can eat.
Wow.
Where are these 28 Starlink V2 mini satellites going today, Alex? Are they going north? Are they going south? Are they going east? They're definitely not going west, at least if everything goes to plan.
Well, hopefully they'll go north, then south, then north, then south, then and so on.
Okay,
And so
all
forth.
right. I see what you did there, Mr. Orbital Mechanics. I should have known better for someone with the word physics in their screen names.
Well, I needed to heliopause you.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh no! Oh no! If you missed the other day's stream, that was a treat. IMAP was a good one. Not only because of the solar, not only because of the solar
yesterday?
train. Oh my god! What is time? It's all one day at this point. It's just we all exist in one everlasting day that never ends.
Time is an illusion, everybody.
Alex, where's the
It's not
pendulum
real.
going? What's the trajectory? For the love of God!
It's going northeast. As you can see there on your screen, those are the hazard notices for launch and also the booster and fairing recovery for this mission. And so, yeah, downrange, we're going to have a shortfall of Gravitas where the booster will be landing on around 8 minutes after launch. And then the second stage will continue its own, of course. It's going to be doing 2 burns, one to inject itself and also the payloads into a parking orbit, and then a short relight about an hour after to sort of circularize our orbit and then deploy the Starlink satellites. So yeah, the orbit is low Earth orbit, 53 degrees inclination, and roughly 270 kilometers in altitude. That's where those satellites will go to on this mission. But yeah, northeast, because if they were to launch to the same inclination southeast, they can. But the booster will be landing essentially in the Bahamas, and they only did that once, and they've not done it again. So I'm mostly sure it's probably something that they will not. They won't try again, essentially. But yeah.
Is Jack
Talking
So,
while
well
muted.
muted.
Yeah, I was talking while muted. God, I'm so mad you both know me so well at this point.
You were
I wonder-
muted.
I was helium.
Oh my god.
I deserve this. I wonder why they've only done that once. Maybe they like some more regulatory things need to be ironed out, or yeah, because that was cool. Like Falcon 9's landing right off the coast of Bermuda. Like, sign me up. That was really neat. I hope they get to do it more at some point here in the future. All right, let's do some questions. 98 Central's asking, does every rocket that's launched from the Cape do a roll program? I think basically every rocket that's launched does a roll program.
Uh,
No? Disagree?
American rockets, yes. But Soyuz, for example, the R-7 missile in general, was very famous for not rolling during flight. And actually what they did is the launch pad itself was the one that rolled before launch. So the launch pad was sort of in a rotating platform, essentially. So they could roll the entire launch pad around to be able to do that. Modern Soyuz rockets don't need that. They have already been modified to be able to allow for a roll program during flight. But the older ones, they had to literally rotate the launch pad.
For those of our viewers who might not know, I mean, I totally know, like 100%, I already know, but like for our viewers, explain to them why rockets might need to do a roll program even in the first place. Something, something launch, azimuth, something, something.
Well, yeah, the launch azimuths, of course, we're talking here about the direction that they need to head over. So as the rocket lifts off, it just not doesn't go straight up. It also goes downrange, right? Picking up horizontal speed to be able to go into orbit. And it does that in a certain direction, and that's the launch direction that it needs to take. Now, the rocket, because it's a 3D body, it can roll, it can yaw, or it can pitch, right? And the ideal situation is that you want to head downrange, just pitching. Because if you do pitch and yaw at the same time, then that is not great. And for that reason, the rocket rolls around and then it heads with its pitch axis, if you will, in the direction of the flight, and sort of it just pitches downrange. And so you can hear sometimes on some of the callouts, especially from SpaceX, vehicle is pitching downrange. That is what it means. It rolls around and it pitches over and starts that sort of downrange trajectory. And the reason that roll is needed and why they do that pitch is not just for simplification, but also the way that the antennas are located on the rocket, for example, or certain markings for tracking and things like that. There are other things as well that account for that. And if you look at the shuttle, where you also need to put the shuttle in a heads down, wings level position, as they called it, right?
Right.
And so, yeah.
Max, what do you think is the most epic roll of any rocket that you can think of?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Who rolls best? Who rolled best?
I think it'd be unfair to say the space shuttle because that's like that.
Yeah.
That there's really no comparison. But if I had to name another rocket in here, honestly, I think it would be an Atlas 551 going to a geostationary transfer orbit, or i.e. directly east. And the reason why
you would pick that.
No, I'm being serious because if you have the opportunity to look at an Atlas from a southern perspective, looking north at the pad, and it's heading off to an eastern flight path, it does one of the wildest and most aggressive pitch kicks I've ever seen any rocket do. It's insane. Like it barely clears the towers, and you see the entire thing just roll and just completely pitch at like a 15 or 20 degree angle downrange immediately. It's bizarre. And because it has solid rocket motors, it leaves a smoke trail. So you can see at what point in the flight it did that. And and that happens like almost right after it clears the tower. So I would have to say Atlas 5 going, or at a 551 Atlas going off to an eastern trajectory. But I think we all know that the space shuttle is pretty much unbeaten when it comes to roll programs.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say space shuttle. I know that's like the boring, obvious answer, but space shuttle, like done, easy. If I can't pick space shuttle for coolest roll, I would pick probably Falcon Heavy.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a cool one.
That one's special to me just because for the demo launch, I had Feel the Heat tickets, which is like the closest you could get. But I abandoned my Feel the Heat tickets, and I abandoned my poor dad and brother, who actually came out for a launch for once. And I went to Playa Linda Park because I was concerned that the vehicle wasn't going to roll, because me dumb. This is 2018? I didn't know, but I didn't know better. I didn't think the vehicle was going to roll, and so I wanted to get a shot that had the three cores versus the side on kind of look. So
And then
that
you
was
got the side on.
and then I got the side on because it rolled. Yeah, no, it turns out the best laid plans of mice and men. No, at Liftoff I got three cores, but yeah, no, that's another wild one because it's like three Falcon 9s flying in unison, and you could sort of say the same for Delta Heavy, but it's different. It's different to me.
It happens really, really slow with Falcon Heavy by comparison to Atlas 5 and also the space shuttle. But Delta 4 hardly moves at all. If anything, it just tilts itself down. Yeah, basically.
The thing's like a tank. I
was actually gonna mention this, but continue.
Go ahead.
Also, what we haven't had a chance to see in daylight yet is SLS. And if we think back to the launch of Artemis 1, it did pitch and roll similar to the way the space shuttle used to, but we didn't have a great view of it because it was dark and all we saw was just the exhaust turning and not the entire vehicle in daylight. So I think if SLS is fortunate enough to launch in the daytime for Artemis 2, then we may have to adjust our answers a bit, but time will tell.
Yeah, SLS is
It did
going to be a really good shout. I really like my SLS launch footage from Artemis 1. However, I was tweaking settings and adjusting the camera a little bit during the roll, and it happened so fast that I don't really have footage of my own that I particularly like of that part of launch. And I distinctly remember sitting around Redacted Airbnb with Redacted and
Redacted.
just reviewing footage. I don't know if they want me to mention it or not, but reviewing footage and seeing somebody's shot of the roll super tight on the engines. It was just like, oh my God, I can't believe they're winging this massive vehicle around just effortlessly. Like it's a cool thing. All right, we went down the rabbit hole or the roll hole. Alex, any final thoughts on shuttle or Starship rolling? I do love Starship's roll. And Delta, go.
Yeah, I was gonna mention two things. The first one is Delta for Heavy does not roll at liftoff, so that's one of the counter examples, I guess. But it does roll after it lifts off, or rather, it rolled in past, because it sort of goes heading sideways with the side boosters facing sideways. And then for stage separation, for the booster separation, it rolls around once it's out of the thickest part of the atmosphere. And then it rolls around and sort of goes horizontal, flat, compared to the horizon with the side boosters sort of separating sideways, left and right. Same deal happens with Starship now that they do the directional flip, where Starship lifts off, it does its roll program, and it sort of heads sideways, right, with the flaps sort of side on. And then as it goes into thinner atmosphere before staging, it rotates again, and then it sort of faces with the heat shield facing down, and the booster flips up, which is super cool, by the way. But then the ship itself rolls around again and puts itself sideways. I don't know why, but it must be some kind of reason. The shuttle, at first, in the first few flights, it sort of headed downrange all the way to orbit, upside down, just like it does, during liftoff. It rolls and then sort of upside down, right?
That always kind of bothered me as a kid.
But later in the flight, in the program, what they did is it started sort of going upside down, but they were able to use now the TDRS constellation, the ones, the satellites for
tracking
communications.
data and relay satellites. Yeah.
I was trying to come up with that, but I couldn't. So what they did is around 5 minutes into flight, the shuttle will rotate again, and now it will be putting itself with the antennas, which are sort of on the leeward side, facing up. And so they will roll around again. So these things always happen as well with most of the rockets that are launching these days, that sometimes they just rolled again the other way, maybe for whatever reason, because it's convenient for them.
Pretty neat. I'm excited for a future where rockets are robust and routine enough that they can be flown around like a performance aircraft. It's like, we'll do a roll. We'll catch some negative G on this azimuth roll.
Who needs
anyway.
air shows? How about space shows?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm so here for it. I'm also here for Falcon 9 launching today. So if you have your questions about today's launch, keep them coming. Also, where are we at? I have questions about today's launch. Max, where are we at in the timeline, in the flow, as we get closer and closer, under 40 minutes now away from more Starlinks being yeeted into space?
So right at the moment, we are about in the middle of when the go, no-go poll is taking place with those personnel on console for this morning's mission. And then at about T-minus 38 minutes, that is when the SpaceX launch director over here at Hangar X at the Kennedy Space Center will verify if the vehicle and ground systems are either go or no-go for propellant load. And assuming they are go, propellant load of the first stage RP1 and LOX and stage 2 RP1 will commence at T-minus 35 minutes. And assuming that happens on time, we should be seeing frost on the bottom of the first stage LOX tank or liquid oxygen tank at about T-minus 32 minutes or so. So less than 1 minute from when we should be given the go, hopefully, fingers crossed if all goes well. And then, assuming that happens, we should be seeing frost not long after. But that will continue up until at about T-minus 20 minutes when Stage 2 RP1 wraps up. And then we will see the big vent, or the best vent, as we often say as well, of a ton of vapor leaving the transporter erector. And that is essentially SpaceX flowing a bit of LOX into the propellant lines on the transporter erector to thermally condition those lines for Stage 2 liquid oxygen load. But obviously, we need to get past this T-minus 38 mark first in order to get there. And so I wish we had audio callouts like we used to verify if we got there. But after this, we are pretty much on frost watch until either we do or don't see it. So cross your fingers.
Hashtag Frostwatch. Am I
Frostwatch.
muted? No, I'm not talking while muted. Yay! Look at me go. Speaking of looking people go, some people supporting the stream. Thank you so much. Chris P. becoming a Red Team member. Line Lee. I feel like people are messing with me with their names. Becoming a PadRat member. Matthew Oda becoming a PadRat member. Richard Pfeiffer becoming a PadRat member. And Linda and Ralph becoming a PadRat member. Y'all, thank you so much. There is a membership program that we do through YouTube. You can check it out. You can sign up and support us at various different levels and get various different sweet perks. And if you get gifted a membership, that's the thing too, where you can check out the perks. Just because someone was nice enough to gift you a membership. Some of the perks are really sweet, like at Capcom level and above, you get Discord access. At PadRat, at all the levels, you get members-only emoji that you can use in chat. I'm going to spam some Star Hoppers. And so, I'm gonna be contrarian. I'm spamming a bunch of Tories because we do have that Atlas coming up later today. But this is a Falcon 9 launch, so there. But I can do that because I'm a member.
Bullseye.
Yeah, right in the center. Oh no.
It
Okay.
goes along with the Tory emojis.
Yeah, right. Just to follow up on some of the role discussion from a moment ago, Wesley Hale's asking, why is it bad to pitch and yaw at the same time, Alex? Is that just like you're presenting more of the fuselage to the airflow and so you have more drag, which is less efficient? Or what's the reasoning there, if you have reasoning there?
It's not really bad per se. If you've had, good enough computers nowadays can do that, of course, at the same time. But it is something that gets simplified a lot if you roll first and you just do pitch. And you may be only using yaw a little bit here and there, maybe for a dog leg, for example, right? That is the ideal situation where you align from a software perspective is a lot easier for the guidance computer and everything to follow along with just one single axis rather than trying to follow along 2 different or even 3 different axes, if you will. But yeah, because it's also got to make sure to do, the vertical axis as well. So yeah.
Neat. Josh Schulten, thank you for the support. They say live long and prosper. Great. Now I have to watch Star Trek again. Here's a good question from Workings of Numbers. They are saying / asking, 22nd flight of this booster. Is that booster adolescence, middle age, or golden years? Max, what do you think?
I mean, above 20 is where the amount of risk that SpaceX is taking with each booster flying is greater than any other before it. And that is why there is an extensive process to recertify the boosters after the 20 flight milestone to ensure that they are still okay to fly. And the current fleet leader at the moment is booster 1067, currently holding at 30 flights, which I'm sure SpaceX is going to take their time and make sure that booster is ready to go for the next 5 or next 10, because Elon has said that they want to certify Falcon for at least 40 flights, and they're about 75% of the way there, at least on that booster. And, 30 flights on a booster is insane. I remember back just even 3 years ago, 10 flights on a booster seemed like, they're in uncharted territory. It might pop. It might go. I think it might not survive this flight. And sure enough, here we are. 20 more flights in for that booster in particular, and there is a solid percentage of the Falcon 9 fleet now above the 20 flight milestone, especially
So
here in
great.
Florida.
So great. I mean, if you weren't around back then, there was a time where it was like, oh, reusable rockets won't be a thing. Or if they are a thing, they'll only fly a handful of times and it won't
Yeah.
be cost effective. Or if they do fly a handful of times, it still won't be cost effective unless they fly like more than 10 times. And
There's always a reason. There was always a reason to downplay it, but sure enough, here they are, and Falcon is honestly thriving. Even though it had a few hiccups last year, in the grand scheme of things, they were speed bumps just to make sure that I guess SpaceX was staying on top of things. Because spaceflight, as routine as SpaceX makes it look, is not routine, and there is a lot of risk and a lot can go wrong. So it is always a very serious topic, and this is a very serious business with big consequences, excuse me, if stuff does go wrong. So but the fact that they that they make it look routine is just further evidence that they are moving towards more airline like operation that they have said often that they want to move forward with Falcon, and obviously eventually with Starship as well.
the true sign of a great, you make it look easy. Mats, thank you for the super chat, and L. Howard, thank you as well for the super. They say, watching from Melbourne, Florida. Are you supposed to say Melbourne, Florida, or Melbourne, like the Australian place?
Melbourne.
Well, I'm going to say Melbourne, just to be contrarian.
That just sounds wrong.
L. Howard's watching from Melbourne.
That's like you. Oh, God, I don't know.
Gibby?
I don't know if I should. Yes, I was going to say that. Yes.
It's like Gibby. Max, remember that time we were in New Zealand and we went to Gibby looking for a MyOps battery?
Jack, we were in New Zealand.
We were in Gibby.
It's obviously Melby.
No, it's not.
It's Melby.
Good God. It's too early for this.
Alex, do you want to chime in? What do you think? 22nd flight of a booster, young, middle-aged, or old?
Middle age, probably. Yeah.
I mean, taking
But-
what Max said, if SpaceX is trying to certify for 40 flights, then in the 20s would be middle-aged by definition.
But I want to mention
Frost.
we got Frost. Yeah.
Max beat you, Alex. How do you feel about that?
I feel that he could have said it before when he was saying Kimmy, was it? Anyways.
Gibby, yes.
Gibby,
What even? I
whatever.
don't even remember the name. What was? Is it?
Gisborne.
Thank you. That's right. Apparently, nobody actually does call it Gibby except for us.
And yeah, we made sure Jack asked locals if they call it Gibby, and everyone was just like, no.
Stop talking to me. Who are you, weird man? Good deal. Keep your questions coming, y'all. 31 minutes to go. LOX load has begun. There's frost on the vehicle. It's exactly what we want to see at this point in time in the flow. So we'll keep hanging out and answering y'all's questions. Wesley Hale's asking, how many Atlas 5s left?
Oh,
Well,
Trivia time. TikTok. Who's got the answer first? Who's gonna get the being right points? Is it
I
Max?
think it's like 13 or so, I think.
You Googled it.
I did not, genuinely. I did not.
I'm kidding. I'm giving you a hard time.
Is
It's
it
not
actually
that-
13?
It's not that many. I don't know the number.
we
You
can do
want
the
me to
math here live if you will.
Go
so
do it.
they've got, in theory, 6 operational flights of Starliner. Then they're going to be doing the 3rd Kuiper launch, but technically it's actually the 4th later today. So they have already done 3 out of 9 that they had with Kuiper. So that's 6 remaining, plus the 6 from Starliner. That's 12. And then they have 1 launch with Viasat, which should be next month. It's actually the next launch of Atlas after this one. So that's 13.
Hey!
Nice.
I'm pretty
Nice
proud
work.
of that. That was a complete guess, by the way.
You know what's kind of sad?
What?
Aside from the fact that there's only 13 Atlases left and it's a really beautiful rocket, which you can watch launch live on this channel a little bit later today after this launch. What's kind of sad to me is that I went to Wikipedia to see how many Atlas 5s are left. And it's so not like the Atlas 5 page is given so little love by Wikipedia editors that in the opening little blurb it says, as of April 2025, 14 launches remain. That means since April of 2025, no Wikipedia editor has taken the time to give the Atlas 5 some love. That's sad. I guarantee you the Falcon 9 page gets updated more than that. Atlas 5 deserves the love.
But not to be contrarian, but how often does Falcon 9 fly by comparison?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
If they hadn't updated the Falcon 9 page since April, it will probably be missing, what,
Oh,
7
God.
launches?
Yeah, not wrong.
Like, you blink and you miss three launches nowadays, it feels like.
Let's see, more questions. 98 Central's asking, when you do the flyovers, doors off and legs hanging out with camera equipment? Yikes. How do you guys handle the flyovers on the Space Coast? And then I'll discuss how we do them on the Star Coast.
Well, doors off, yes. That is
Mandatory.
It basically is just to maximize movement, to look around and not be obstructed by a window. But legs out, we never hang our legs out. That's just sketchy. Like, we do have seatbelts, but like hanging your legs out, maybe for a quick photo, it'd be kind of cool. But like, we never do that. Honestly, we there's just no real appeal to do that.
Are you guys running harnessed or just seatbelts?
Just seatbelts, yeah. We do have harnesses, but they're for our cameras because I think it is also a requirement to have some sort of physical connection from your camera to your body besides your hands, just in case it slips or something.
Generally smart in a rotorcraft. You don't want anything to leave the cockpit and go into the rotor.
I've heard some horror stories about people dropping gear into the port, and it's not fun.
Yeah, remind me to regale you of when I was doing power line surveys in Southern California. But anyways, moving on. On the Star Coast, we don't use helicopters. We use planes. But same kind of deal. Seatbelted in, window open. You don't want to shoot through glass, turns out.
No.
Did you get new sunglasses?
I did.
You were gonna try and play it off like, no, I've had those, but no, you did. You did get new sunglasses. They look good.
I was about to explain why I got them, but it's just like don't even bother. Yeah, yes, I have new sunglasses.
Nice, looking fresh. You have the drip, as the kids would say. Do kids say that still?
He's ready for the Starship hat fallback at 39A.
Oh my
God. Wait, no, W-Riz, right?
L-Riz. Jesus.
Good question, 98 Central, though. I would love to get some helicopter time again, either on the Space Coast or the Star Coast. I don't think we can fly a helicopter over Vandy, but that would certainly be interesting.
Facts, no printer.
Alex, 25 minutes to go and change. Where are we at?
Well, propellant load still continues on the first stage. The second stage is also getting its little bit of RP1 because it's a very small tank up there, but it should be wrapping up hopefully in about 5 minutes from now, and we'll go to the chill down phase of that liquid oxygen line to the second stage, bringing to us the traditional T-minus 20-minute vent. So just 5 more minutes and we'll get there.
Sweet. Keep your questions coming, y'all. Wesley Hale wants to know how much money has Falcon 9 saved them personally as a middle-class taxpayer. You need a little subreddit called They Did the Math. I think somebody on the SpaceX subreddit in recent months has done a calculation along these lines. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's a significant amount. It's pretty absurd what a difference Falcon 9 and SpaceX and Starlink all cumulatively have made in the industries, frankly.
It also depends, like, what kind of thing you're referring to, because Falcon 9 with, for example, cargo to the ISS, just that alone.
Yep.
There was an estimate from NASA along the lines of like, if we had come up with our own resupply vehicle to go to the ISS and everything, and our own rocket and all that, it would have cost us $10 billion. SpaceX did it for $1 billion.
Jeez.
Right?
And we paid them like, I think it was like 1.5 or something for the services. So like the development was one cost, of course, and then you pay for the services. So overall, it was like we paid maybe like half or even less than that, like a fifth maybe, of what we needed to do. Like if we had come up with this on our own, it would have cost like between 2 to 5 times more. So it's like, yeah.
And that's NASA's own estimate too, which like
Yeah.
I don't think NASA's gonna, outright misrepresent anything or lie or anything like that, but they certainly aren't going to give you a worst case scenario where it's like, yeah, we would have been like 20 times more expensive than that. Like 10 times is bad enough, or 50% is bad enough. But that's remarkable that it's their own estimate.
And that's just
for
cargo
cargo.
resupply. Exactly. Now, like, do commercial crew, for example, I don't know, like SpaceX doing a lot of the science missions. Yesterday, they launched 2 NASA missions technically, 1 NOAA mission.
Right.
But all 3 were they were under NASA's launch services program.
And of course,
So,
there's
like-
the giant steel elephant in the room in the form of Starship, which I know catches a lot of flack, especially from the less informed general public who don't really get where the program is at right now. But I don't even want to think about what a lunar lander that was government developed, that was the size and level of capability of Starship, what that would cost. It would just be a non-starter. We would never be able to justify it politically or economically,
And
because everything's broken.
and then there's
Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say there's the other elephant in the room, the one that we're about to see launch here. As a European, we don't have any Starlink, right?
Right.
In the sense of like, our government is not building that. There's no, I guess, OneWeb, sort of, kinda. It's a bit European. But like we don't have any sort of Starlink yet. There's like Kuiper, there's Starlink from the US, right?
Right.
How much money will have taken the taxpayer in terms of government, government developed and government
Subsidized. Yeah.
exactly a way of doing that sort of thing, right?
I mean,
it's
it's been
probably being a lot of money.
Even just putting aside aerospace and rocketry and the international, like putting aside all of that and astronomical science, all of it, just in the telecommunications space, like the government has shoveled billions of dollars into various telecom companies in order to do things like provide broadband internet to rural areas, which they then turned around and did not do, mind you. And yet, we have Starlink, which is delivering finally not just broadband internet to rural areas in the U.S., but around the world. It's really remarkable. I would love somebody to do like a Rand Corp study or something, some sort of official study thing where you could actually point to it and be like, look, here's the numbers. I mean, just the NASA numbers from the cargo thing alone are pretty outstanding, Alex. What are you laughing at?
Okay, yeah, because I wanted to finish my whole thing about the European stuff because we already have the Team and Astronomy event, but I'm going to say it anyways. Europe is also trying to build their own sort of Starlink constellation from the government side. It's about to cost like 10 times more. And it's also going to be like 100 times fewer satellites. Anyways, yeah, Team and Astronomy event.
Well,
Yay.
actually, to add back onto that for just 1 second, I was going to say one of the biggest what ifs that kind of almost was launching Europa Clipper on the Block 1 cargo variant of SLS back when that was in discussion.
Yeah, that too.
Saved what, like $200 million or something? Yeah, good point, Max.
I think it was more than that.
2 billion.
Yeah, billion.
The funny thing for me was when on a report they said, no, actually it's gonna cost more because now we have to keep it in deep space for X amount of time. And what they did was they just assumed that SLS was gonna be free because it was just it's NASA's rocket, right? So it's paid for. It's $0, whereas we need to buy the Falcon Heavy. And it's like,
Right.
come on,
Come on.
you don't even believe that.
Wow. All right, so we totally just blew through the T-minus
I
20-minute
know.
vent, which is not really even blowing around a lot because there's not that much wind out there right now. But Max, quick rundown. You even did it like at T-minus 30. You already said what the T-minus 20-minute vent is. So people should remember. There's going to be a quiz after launch, so you better remember. But in case people don't, T-minus 20-minute vent is a good thing. It means everything's on track, right?
It does. Yep. So it is a visual indicator that they have wrapped up stage 2 RP1 load, and they are currently thermally conditioning the lines inside of the transporter erector to receive and pump liquid oxygen through it and into the upper stage to obviously fuel it with a full load of LOX. So, and it's really interesting because the behavior of that vapor coming out of the TE is a great indicator of what the weather is doing, whether it's blowing in one direction or if it's just falling to the ground, whether the vapor is hanging around for a while or if it's immediately evaporating. Obviously, it's more or less just falling straight to the ground, and it is very, very, very thick. And I can confirm it is incredibly humid out here tonight, albeit it is actually a pretty pleasant temperature, I have to say. It is not 85 degrees at night here anymore, but it is upwards probably around 85+% humidity. I would not be surprised if it is above 90. But thank you, Carson, for bringing this up. Actually, because the weather forecast for this morning's launch, according to the forecast from the 45th Weather Squadron based at the Patrick Space Force Base, only forecasted a 5% probability of weather violations this morning, which is realistically about as good as it gets beyond the less than 5% chance. But that's very, very, very rare. And the primary concern at that point would be just the cumulus cloud roll and just taking a quick look around with my Mark 1 eyeballs. There are like almost no clouds in the sky, and there are stars aplenty overhead. So looking like weather is really as good as really anyone could ask for in terms of a night launch. So it should be a rather pretty one tonight.
Fingers crossed, it is indeed a pretty one. Astro Knucklehead with a $5 tip. Thank you so much, buddy, for going through the extra effort to go to tips.nasaspaceflight.com because all of that comes to us. No Google or Apple cut getting taken out of it. Astro says, at Max Brewer Bridge for in-person launch number 3. Whee! What is the record for most launches in 1 week from Florida? Alex?
Oh man, I don't have that kind of tracking or anything like that.
Ask Grok.
Well, if Grok does the same thing as it did with the Atlas V launches, then it's gonna be wrong. Yeah, because for people that are not aware, there was a bit of an exchange in the back channels about the validity of certain Grok answers. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe like 5 or 6 in a single week probably is the record. If I were to guess, just based on off the top of my head calculations. Just rely on Alex, not intelligence.
A and I?
And yeah.
Nice. Matt's gifting another Red Team membership. Thanks, buddy. And Yarmanarnar, thank you for the support. They say, this is going to date me, but quick taxing his gig, Cruster. Polyshore is the equivalent of modern day slang. I don't know that I agree with that, but sure, we'll go with it. Nine Central, what the heck is asking, is using Windex on a camera lens a bad thing? What happens when your microfiber cloth is dirty? Can you wash it? Max? You want to take that one?
Honestly, there are worse things you could do. I would not recommend that. I would either recommend using like a dedicated wipe that has its own liquid, on it, or using an actual like spray that very finely mystifies the fluid inside to help clean it and wash it. Yeah, spray. Thank you, Jack. But like Windex on your lens, like as long as you're not like going crazy and like making a pool on it. I don't know. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I wouldn't recommend it if you have other options.
Yeah, basically, you want to use something that is supposed to be used on lenses because lenses can have coatings on them that fluid that is not meant for an actual lens can remove, which would be a bad thing.
Just like sandpaper.
I use Roscoe and Pancro. Pancro is the liquid, and Roscoe are the wipes. It's like film industry nonsense. Roscoe and Pancro, they're best friends. No pushback? All right, let's move on. Sod is asking, when is New Glenn launching? How is it launching a Mars mission when the next window is 2026? Alex, go.
Yeah, so the launch is not going to go directly to Mars. This is one of the things that a lot of people are getting wrong, and I'm really tired of trying to correct this because there's a lot of people out there that are trying to play into games of, oh, look at this, New Glenn is going to Mars first and all that. Right? I need to do that voice. But it is true. Like, it's not going to Mars, folks. It's just going to drop these satellites into the sort of like a trajectory that sort of gives like it gives them a push into deep space, but then the satellites themselves do the trans-Martian injection, if you will. So it's not going to be a lot of difference from, for example, just yesterday's launch of Falcon 9 in terms of what the rocket will have to do to put those escapade satellites. So yeah, the next Mars mission is the next window is in 2026, so those satellites are going to be hanging around for a bit before doing that burn to head to Mars. But New Glenn is not going to Mars. There, put it to rest.
There we have it. 12 minutes to go. 9/8 Central, by the way, why would you even ask that? Why would you even ask about using Windex on a lens? Keith Tegg is asking about the launch conditions tonight. They're asking, does the high humidity increase the chance of vapor cones and audible effects? Max? I think so. I'm not a weatherometer,
Yes.
but I think so.
Yes. So to start off with the vapor cone part of the question, yes. So as obviously shockwaves form as Falcon 9 transitions into transonic and supersonic speeds, the air over the shockwaves condenses, and that is where obviously where you get the vapor in the vapor cones along the shockwaves. And obviously, the more humid the atmosphere, the higher your odds are of having a really strong one. And it is very humid out, at least here at ground level. I'm not sure how it is at the altitude that Falcon 9 normally goes supersonic or begins to. So I think tonight it could be likely. It could be awesome. We had a great one this morning with IMAP. And then in terms of the sound, thicker, more humid air carries sound a lot better. So you should be assuming the wind direction is behaving itself. You should be able to hear tonight's launch from pretty far away. I've heard some people tell me that they've heard it all the way in Orlando a couple of times. But obviously, if the wind is blowing in the wrong direction, forget about it. But at least here at the press site and for our microphone, it should be a rather strong one tonight, I feel.
Yeah, and another thing to mention is this launch is out of Slick 40, which means, fingers crossed, we will get to hear the vehicle assembly building squeal as the rocket ascends into the night sky, and that resonance hits the doors or whatever is causing that crazy squeal. Max, do you think we're going to get some good squeal tonight?
Well, yeah, we always do from Slick 40 because it's at just the right angle compared to the VAB. We sometimes get it from 41, but Atlas doesn't normally have that strong a shockwaves from the exhaust. And 39A is also kind of at the wrong angle, although if Falcon 9 and Heavy are strong enough so that we do hear it sometimes. But 40 is at just the right angle, so we hear it basically every single time, and hopefully the mic picks it up.
Yeah, hopefully we get to hear that squeal. Hopefully you all squeal with delight when you head on over to shop.nasaspaceflight.com. See what I did there? And you check out our thrust collection, because that is what is causing the VAB to squeal, is those lovely Merlin engines on Falcon 9. And we do have that design on a bunch of different styles of clothing, whether it's a hoodie or a shirt or a mug or what have you. And I think they're really nice. There's also other engines in the thrust collection besides Merlin. If you want to check it out, head on over to shop.nasaspaceflight.com.
The RS-25 is there. You know, we recently had those Artemis conferences, and hopefully SLS launches in a few months. Question
Yeah,
mark?
I like how your voice went up at the hopefully.
Maybe.
But
Maybe?
yeah, for real.
February?
But yeah, you can even see Max looking fine there in one of the Thrust Collection shirts. Seriously, the merch store is a huge way you can support what we do. The super chats help. The membership program helps. The store absolutely helps, and you get some sweet merch in return. So thank you for even considering it. I just hiccuped. I just hiccuped live
so
on air.
hard. You tried
really
so
hard.
to have that surprise.
I want to die. Somebody else talk.
You could literally hear like Jack's throat like tighten up, like don't do it.
I don't want to be around anymore. It was such a good merch plug, and then I blew it at the end.
He soiled it. Soiled it.
Oh, goodness.
Westy's right. He says better than a burp.
Westy, Westy knows the lore too well.
Oh God.
The
May or
winking,
may not have.
the winking smiley says it all. 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go. We're getting into the business end of the count. Max, do we need to send you off to do camera things?
Yeah, we are indeed at that time, guys. We are at about T-minus 7.5 minutes now, but that is going to melt. Ready to go for y'all to enjoy on the stream. Oh, am I back?
Well, I think so, maybe.
Yeah, LT drops out sometimes, but yeah, it is time for me to go prep some cameras for y'all to enjoy on the live stream. So good luck, and I will see y'all on the other side.
Godspeed, good buddy. All right, Alex, so now we can talk about stubby nozzle. Do we expect stubby nozzle on this launch? I hope not, because it is demonstrably the worst nozzle.
Yeah, no stubby nozzle, just the good nozzle.
Excellent. I jokingly bring that up because Max disagrees with my sentiments on the stubby nozzle. I really don't actually care. It's just fun. It's just fun to
with your
poke fun.
sentimonies about it.
I'm going to heliopause you really quick to do some more viewer questions.
Thought you'd appreciate the Simpsons reference.
I completely missed it because I'm still panicking about the fact that I hiccuped live on air. Ahmad wants to know what the 4 towers are. That's not me hiccuping on air. Alex, go. 4 towers.
Well, the towers are just for the lightning protection system. There's like cables, wires, I guess, connecting all 4 towers and also connecting them to the ground as well to be able to create this sort of cage, if you will, around the rocket and the launch pad infrastructure to be able to protect them from lightning. If lightning were to go down to the ground, it will hit first those wires before hitting any of the rocket hardware or the crew access tower and whatnot. So, yep, those towers are there for that. They are not to get, like, it is true that sometimes, rarely, the lightning does hit the towers themselves, but they are not for that. They are to hold the wires themselves.
To hold the wires that we can't really see. You can just barely see the catenary wire up there.
Yep.
Neat. All right, 5 minutes and change to go. Where are we at, Alex? Is this thing fully fueled yet?
Not entirely, but it's very close. So about a minute ago, they should have wrapped up RP1 load on the first stage, and the next 2 things that need to happen is ending liquid oxygen load on the first and second stages, and that should be T-minus 3 minutes and T-minus 2 minutes respectively. Right now, they should be preparing now for stromac retract. They pressurized the tanks a little bit to sort of keep it stable. The rocket, it's a bit more stable once it is pressurized. And then they open the clamps at the top of the stromback and start retracting that structure away from the rocket about 1.8 degrees. So yeah, just typical Falcon 9 stuff.
Strongback retract has started.
Nice. Just rocket things. Just Falcon 9 things. Ship24 asking, are we streaming the Atlas launch later? Alex, you're going to answer this question, and you know how I want you to answer it. Are we streaming the Atlas launch later?
Heck yes.
You blew it.
Why?
You're supposed to say, yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes,
I thought we had left the Simpsons reference behind.
No, never, ever. But yes, we will be streaming the Atlas launch later, so be sure to show your love to the field team, namely in this case Max, who is absolutely crushing it, but we will, I believe, have Jerry working that launch as well, and maybe also Sawyer and Julia. I'm not positive. I am a bad friend. At any rate, if you have not hit the bell button on YouTube, I know it's a stupid YouTube cliche, but hey, we are going to be live for that Atlas launch, launching Kuiper satellites later on today, and if you want to get notified of it, you can. There's also the Next Spaceflight app, which we run, and it will give you notifications as well. So that's how you can stay apprised of everything going on in the spaceflight space, in addition to following along on our socials, wherever you get your social media. That way you will never, ever miss a launch, because we are obsessive about this sort of thing. Anytime we can point our cameras at one of these vehicles, we do. So you're in the right place.
Load complete.
And there you have it. Stage 1 LOX load complete. We are coming up on 2 minutes. We should see another large cloud of vapor. Might be hard to discern among all of the other vapor which is hanging around because there's absolutely no wind right now. But that's coming up in about 10 seconds here. I'm loving the lighting on the vehicle and on the pad right now. I'm getting Close Encounters vibes.
Yeah, it's a bit humid there.
Just a bit.
Also, a lot of the gaseous oxygen lingering around. Look at that.
Absolutely. It's just gorgeous.
Even
It's
the
just-
RP1 tank is a bit frosty.
Right?
Yeah.
Stage 2,
Un-
LOX load complete.
Under 2 minutes, stage 2 LOX load complete. I can't even discern the 2-minute vent because it's all just one massive cloud at this point.
It's there.
It almost looks like straight up a liquid oxygen streaming out the side of it. What a beautiful setup for a launch. Minute and 30 seconds to go. Alex, what happens at a minute?
Well, that should be the point
Ground
of
gas close-ups.
Falcon 9. There we go. Falcon 9 entering startup when it takes over control of the countdown and starts doing a lot of the automated checks of all of the systems and whatnot. It'll also pressurize its tanks for flight. Flight termination system will be on. Lots and lots of things happening in that last minute. Let's see what happens.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
There you have it. Falcon 9 is in startup. I was trying not to talk over the call out because I know you so carefully timed your answer to line up with that call out.
It worked better yesterday because we had the
Launch
direct
director,
feed.
Go for launch.
Can't win them all.
Nice.
Launch director, go for launch. 30 seconds to go. Now we're watching the base of the vehicle for ignition of those 9 Merlin engines. Just seconds away at this point. $15. Keep your eyes on the base of the vehicle for that green flash we might see. We'll see a flash of one color or another. There it was. Ignition and liftoff of Falcon 9, launching more Starlink V2 mini satellites into low Earth orbit. Let's listen in and hopefully hear that VAB squeal. Absolutely beautiful views of Falcon 9 launching into the night sky. I hope you all heard that squeal plain as day right as the audio hit. That was fantastic. We're coming up on main engine cutoff on the first stage here. Second stage engine will light at that point. First stage will turn around, do a boost back burn. Well, sorry, turn around and head back to the drone ship.
Yeah, no boost back burn.
Yeah, because it's not an RTLS. I know, I'm dumb. Me dumb, you smart. Look at the blue. I love the blue at this stage in flight. It's so fleeting, but so beautiful. There's Miko. Here it is, here's stage SEP from SpaceX's cams. We'll see the second engine start up on the right-hand side. And a view from the inner stage on the first stage on the left-hand side, you can see it getting absolutely cooked. Meanwhile, second stage nozzle heating up, and it's not stubby, and everybody rejoices. Look, you can really see on the grid fins, you can see how that first stage is just getting cooked by the second stage.
Yep.
Ooh, a little bit of a jellyfish going on there. A little bit
Air
of plume
separation.
interaction. Whee! Can see the Starlink satellites there. You can see the fairings in this tracking shot. Nice.
Yep. And in terms of jellyfish, it's too early to get that sort of interaction here from the Florida view, right? But the onboard view on the MVAC engine may get into sunlight at the end of this burn. So we'll see what happens. Because it flies within, and of course, all the way to the east. So
yeah, Cape Breton Launch Services asked if they should go outside on the East Coast, and I said yes, you should go outside on the East Coast.
Yeah, regardless of jellyfish or not, you should go.
Yeah, I mean it's worth trying to see something like this in the night sky, and you never know what you will see. Absolutely beautiful views. I'm so glad the squeal was so pronounced on this launch. I feel like a lot of times we'll see people in chat saying like, oh, you know, I don't ever hear the squeal. If you didn't hear the squeal on this one, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, for people that don't hear it, like maybe next time, just try to tune out the rumble, because it's sort of in the background of the rumble. The rumble just overwhelms any other sounds, right?
Right, it's like
it's in the background.
It's like a subtle addition, sometimes less subtle, but it's like imagine the sound of imagine the sound of a building cheering the rocket on. That's what it sounds like, and it's just like a screeching, squealing sound. Like a high-pitched, almost metallic, sort of like I'm not gonna do what you just did and try and make the sound.
But it's true. It's sort of very high pitched, very.
It's like a screaming. It literally just sounds like metal shutters on a building screaming.
Yep. And it only happens.
Severin says the squealing sound sounds like a squeal.
Thanks.
Mohammed says it was super clear for them today. Maybe it depends on the device you're using or headphones versus speaker. That's entirely possible. I'm using like nice over-ear headphones whenever we do streams like this, so maybe that's part of why I'm able to hear it. If you're like listening to it on phone speakers, that's tricky. Also, it might be the kind of thing where it's easier for like younger ears to hear. I've always think of like when I was a kid, I could hear the sound. I could hear the sound of the cathode ray tube of a TV, and be like, "Oh, the TV's on," and my parents would be like, "What? You're crazy!" I'm like, "No, you can't hear that. The TV's on."
And there we go, entry startup. I was gonna mention Calvin Chase. Unfortunately, you wrote that in all caps, and Nightbot timed you out. But they're right. A really bad wheel bearing, right? When it's sort of like squeaking, it sort of sounds a little bit like that.
Yes. It's almost like shopping cart like shopping cart metal rubbing on shopping cart metal, if that makes any sense. Like when you extend a little basket and it does that like horrible metal on metal screech. It's kind of like that.
Speaking of screeching, this thing is
Both vehicles
screeching?
continue
I
to
don't know.
follow a nominal trajectory.
Through the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a good try.
It's
It,
not
like,
even screaming, it's just screeching.
Yeah, A for effort. Look at the grid fins. Never gets old. Never, ever, ever gets old. Now I want waffles. Is it possible to cook waffles with plasma?
Maybe.
Some sort of toroidal
Oh my god.
waffle iron? I can't say that word.
It will
Toroidal?
probably get very burnt on the outside and not that well done on the inside, though.
The waffle itself is toroidal. It's just molten on the inside. What's going on with the first stage? It's just dark. Where's the landing burn? Give us some light. Come on, landing burn.
Soon. There's the light of the drone ship. If you want to light.
That's fantastic.
Oh, come on. There we go.
I believe in you.
Stage 1 landing burn. Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
There's landing burn. I can faintly see the drone ship a little bit here and there. It's just wild.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And land it.
Science fact.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Not even science
Stage
fiction.
2 FTS
You always
has
make it
failed.
look so easy.
Right? Like I said, sign of a true great. Just making it look easy. It's not even hard. John in chat. Someone check on chat. Jack. I think he's having a stroke trying to pronounce toroidal. Toroidal? Toroidal?
Does someone have to call the bondulance?
Yeah, call a bondulance, Max. How you doing? How was that?
That was beautiful. Just as we thought. Oh, in rapid turn replays. Holy cow, Carson!
Look at Carson go.
That was fast.
I'm impressed.
And
believe
by the
this
way,
is-
it's toroidal without deal.
Toroidal.
No, it's dull.
Toroidal.
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 You know, later on, we're going to see a Tori rocket, toroidal rocket.
Wow. Wow, Alex. Wait, no, seriously, how do you say it?
Toroidal.
Toroidal. That's it?
Yeah, it's it. There's no deal at the end. It's just dull. Toroidal.
You don't have to rip on me about it.
Toroidal?
Oh my god, I
Well-
want to. All right.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
Okay. Replays, am I right?
Fleet cam number 2, I believe.
Nice. Chad is just.
Are you
Chad
still
is
giggling about that?
Chad is
Rosie
just,
Lalala.
yeah, Chad is just way off the rails. Wesley is. I don't even think Wesley fell asleep on their keyboard on primarily the A and L keys. Good stuff. I don't know why I had such a hard time with that word. I don't know if I've ever actually said it out loud before. It's one of those words I've read a lot. Like, oh yeah, it's a tokamak reactor. It's a Taurus. It's Toro. I'm not even. I give up. I give up. We found my squirrel, everybody. Donut shaped. Thank you, Pie Quarter. It's donut shaped. Toroidal.
Am I right?
I'm really more of a toroidal person than a
It's bagel shape.
tortoise person.
It's
It's bagel
bagel-shaped.
shaped. Yes, bagel shaped. Thank you, Alex. Replays. Right? Am I right?
Replays.
Yeah. Is that you, Max?
Yeah, this is the wider feed I had down here over at the press site.
Nice.
Artificial
Carson-
sunrise.
Carson got the replays playing so fast, we didn't have time to do our usual like nonsense minute while we waited for the replays. So now we're just doing the nonsense during the replays. I think this is a track from Gage.
I thought we did that the whole time, but
Well, I mean, yeah. Also, yes.
It's been a stream.
It is always, especially these late night, early morning, whatever Starlinks. You know,
Could
we're
be
hanging
hitting
out.
different.
How did the Texan describe the fusion reactor to the crowd?
How?
He said it's toroidal, y'all.
it's not that.
Jesus. You just like triggered Alex so bad. It's not that. Good God.
I can't breathe.
It's not that.
He got so mad.
Oh my goodness. It's toroidal.
Oh God, I take no credit for that one. I saw it in chat. Ian Young. I blame Ian Young for that one. Ooh, that's a beautiful shot.
I think this one should have audio as well. So
No, let's keep saying the word toroidal over and over. Nobody here wants to actually hear rocket audio.
No, you wanted to say toroidal.
Actually, let's listen to the squeal if there is audio. There. That's the squeal. There it is again, really faint.
the audio tonight was really sharp. Jack, if you're trying to talk, you're muted.
I've been muted for a long time, but I've also been talking for a long time to precisely nobody. Yeah, while muted. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Max.
I was like, I have a feeling Jack's trying to say something
No,
here.
I
but
just,
it's nothing's coming
no,
through.
I literally just went on like a 5-minute discussion about why the squeal is hard to hear and what to listen for and when there was squeal and when there wasn't and why it's not crackle and yeah, I'm not good at this. No, the squeal is tricky. I'm trying to think of like how to describe it. It sounds almost like wind, like really fast wind blowing through a chain link fence. Something like that.
How many comparisons can we make in a single stream?
A lot. I can keep going.
About that many.
It sounds sort of like a really high-speed train going by on a aluminum trestle bridge like 20 miles away from you. It sounds almost like you took a tin can and filled it full of holes and then fired a pressure washer through it. It's sort of
squeaky door.
Parsing is already like, come on, Jack, shut up. And
it sounds
let's
like
go.
the door on my Land Rover if you open it really slow. Okay. We do have Kuiper coming up later on today. Atlas is going to be launching. It should be an absolutely beautiful launch, just like this one was, except that one will be during the day, so we'll get some light as well. So stay tuned for that. Kuiper KAO3 launching later on today in just a few hours, so that'll be a lot of fun. Max, thank you for everything you do to help bring our rocket coverage to people around the world.
Pleasure as always, and I will see y'all hopefully in just a few hours for even more Space Coast festivities.
Indeed. Alex, thank you as well for being on stream and teaching me how to say toroidal.
Do we also have? 'Cause he said the Space Coast festivities. Do we have also like a rocket tree and everything, and we gift each other? And you've got, I don't know, rocket clouds or
On the
something.
12th day of Launchmas. All right. No, for real though, we need to make it
Launchmas.
make it end. We gotta make it end. Carson, thank you for operating the stream. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm probably forgetting something. Gage was tracking. Oh man.
Toroidal.
Josh Schulten, thank you for the super chat. Follow us on the socials. Kuiper coming up later today. Man, what am I forgetting?
Toroidal.
I guess I'm forgetting how to end the stream. All right. Goodbye. Toroidal.
And here we go.
We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, the planet.
Water towers fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SPD off. Bring in SPD off. Off. It's orange! Orange 45! Oh my god! Oh my god! Decollage! What is it? Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
The methane will be igniting with the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep that. Sure. We don't need any more of these.